What's up, y'all? It's me, Nate Almighty, and I'm back with another Raising Kanan Season 4 Theory and Prediction video. The topic of today's theory and prediction is, I'm doing this for everyone in the comment section who thinks it's still a possibility. Unique kills Famous and tortured Famous for not giving up information on the Thomas family, especially Kanan. And why? This is because he had a deep-rooted hatred against Rock, of course, and because that is how he wanted to begin the execution of his plan to destroy and dominate Rock. He noticed Famous was out, he ran down on Famous, and thus he ended up doing what he did, all right? This video is going to be another banger. I'm going to discuss how it works and how it will not work, or how it probably does not work out in the grand scheme of things, right? As we try to rule out Unique or rule him in as the person who killed Famous. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you're new here. Of course, if I'm speaking on it, if you're listening to this voice, this video is going to be another banger. Without further ado, let's get to it. All right, now, y'all, let's break it down like this. I seen someone in the comment section again today saying how nothing I predict is correct, and I just be saying wild stuff. My first response is suck my dick. My second response is, yes, I do say wild stuff, but let me remind the people of all the theories and predictions that I've gotten right this year so far before we speak on a Unique situation. For one, I said, hey, OC is working under Unique and been working under Unique. I got that right. I said Jukebox will not only catch her first kill in season 4, but she will catch her first kill saving Marvin's life. I am the only person on the internet who said that, okay? Also, all these symbolisms and all of these clues in regards to Unique being breezed this season, yeah, that was me too. I also predicted before the season started that Lou would relapse. Now, if you look at what's going on with Lou, he was just sitting in a bar staring at a cup of whiskey, all right? A cup of Jameson, all right? He already relapsed in the mind. I'm already correct about 3 to 5 predictions already. So, hey, GOMD. I hope you figure out what that means, those of the naysayers. But now let's talk about Unique, okay? Unique and Famous. First, we need to discuss why it's very, very possible that Unique could have done this. Now, Unique has been moving around like a ghost, creeping up on people for months before he decided to show his face to Rock. We know that if it wasn't for Shirley Temple, Lou would be a pack right now, okay? We'd be smoking on that Lou pack. We know that already. We know he's been moving around inconspicuous, right? Getting his shit off, having his way, doing everything he wanted to do. We also know that if it was to be found out that Unique decided to kill Famous, we know that Unique is not above torturing people, since we know he tortured and killed his best friend in the very first episode of Raising Kanan, the entire series. I forgot his name. His name is like Trell or something like that. We know he tortured his own best friend, okay? That is probably one of the biggest reasons why it's plausible that Unique had done this, okay? Also, we know that once he's in his right mind, he could have seen Famous around while trying to keep an eye on Kanan or Rock. Seen Famous around, he kidnapped him, right? And then he had him tied up somewhere, tortured him and said, yo, tell me about this, that, with Kanan and Rock. Where y'all hiding the money at? Where's this? Where's that? Blah, blah, blah. We all know this is a possibility. However, I feel I have even more compelling reasons to suggest that Unique had nothing to do with this, and still the police have something to do with this situation, and Rock still has more of a motive to do something to Famous than Unique. For one, Unique hasn't even spoken to Kanan yet. So are y'all trying to suggest that Unique had an off-screen conversation in the flashback with Famous first before he has that conversation with Kanan? Right? Mind you, by the time he has that conversation with Kanan, it's going to be monumental. Big things are going to happen from that conversation. It's not going to be just Kanan and Unique talk and Kanan joins up with Rock and they kill Unique by the end of the season. That's not going to happen, all right? But are y'all really suggesting that Unique had a conversation with Famous off screen in the flashback before he has a conversation with Kanan? And to those of you who think that Unique had a conversation with Kanan already behind the scenes, that's cap. That's cap. I 99% do not believe that, right? The next thing is this. Just like for anyone who believes maybe Snaps and Pop had anything to do with it, right? Unique really don't know Famous. He wouldn't care about Famous enough to even do that in the first place. Like, even if he noticed Famous, his number one thing that he thinking about is hurting Rock. So unless he knows that Famous knew about Howard or whatever, which Famous still doesn't really know about, right? Then there's no reason for him to do anything at all to Famous. He simply does not know Famous or know of Famous enough to care. Doesn't care. Another reason why Unique is likely not the one is because of the timeline. Around the time Famous got out and began being missing, this is around the time where Unique was still healing up. So he probably physically was not able to do it, okay? And with that being said, we'll spend the rest of the video still contemplating who are the most likely people to do it based off of everything that we know, okay? So OC and Cranking them, telling Kanan that they heard it was Freddy crew. That is suspicious. Where did they get that information from, right? In order to tell him that. Because Kanan and Jukebox, they then went, they confronted Freddy's crew. All of them were straight pussy. A 2-pack of ass. Okay? Visibly and in all kinds of ways. And the producers made them all look flimsy and soft on purpose, so we know for sure that they had nothing to do with it, okay? Nothing to do with it, right? So we gotta rule out Freddy Crew. Freddy Crew said the police. Now, what we're gonna find out is Kanan and Jukebox are gonna be looking into that, but then the thing is this, right? How do they look into that? How do they figure out that the police had anything to do with it? How? The only way they could do that is, for real, is there kind of is no way. They would have to just keep their ears to the street and hope that a fiend or somebody got some valid information. Or they could go to Rock and see what Rock could do. Here's the thing, though. I mean, well, Kanan could go to Snaps and Pop as well, right? Snaps and Pop maybe could figure out what's going on with that. Or they could go to Rock. If Rock had anything to do with it, of course she's gonna lie and send Kanan on a wild goose chase, okay? Now, if he went to Snaps and Pop may be able to finagle and see what's going on with that. But other than that, there is no real way for them to figure out if the cops had anything to do with it, because it's above their pay grade. They don't have any access to cops, but this is furthermore going to give Kanan an understanding of why you need to have cops in your back pocket. And probably this may be why the initial thought of Jukebox going to be a cop comes into play. Where they on some, man, if we had access to a cop, we would know what's going on, right? And that may put the light bulb at the top of Jukebox's head. But other than that, it's seeming like the police in Rock, or just Rock, through paying the police has something to do with it. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Can't teach that shit, nigga. Come on. That's God gifted. That's touch by ink. That's on the dome, nigga.